All right, so we are working on the 1.1T TinkerCad keychain that we're going to use to send to the laser. And as the module lays out, we need to create a 1.5-inch wide by 3-inch long keychain that we can cut on the laser. The keychain must utilize different shapes, edges, symbols, and text. And we got to remember that we can only cut, right? And so we have to keep in mind, how are we not going to lose things when we go through the cutting process? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my base. And that base, right, needs to be a certain size. The size was 1.5 inches wide by 3 inches long. Now here's the thing though, is that right now my work plane is set up in millimeters. So I'm gonna go to edit grid, I'm gonna change our units to inches, right? And you know what, just for kicks, I'm gonna make it 10, oh nowhere, 10 by, all right. Now I can size this thing to be the maximum size. And the maximum size is 1.5, and my number lock. No, don't want to do that. Go away. Maximum size, 3 inches long and 1.5 inches wide. Okay, so that's the biggest it can be. Now to make it look more like what we're gonna laser, I'm gonna set the height to 0.2 because that's 1/8 of an inch, or sorry, yeah. Sorry, actually it should be 0.125. That's 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so now I have my base. Now, I don't really like that as a shape, okay? And remember, like it says, we have to use different shapes, edges, symbols, and text. So this is where you get creative using your TinkerCad skills. If it's a keychain, that means there's got to be a hole somewhere for the little loop, that keychain, metal keychain loop. So I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to make that really small. Maybe, let's see, that's 3/8. I think a 1/4 inch would be fine. I'm going to put it in the corner. All right. Now, so I can see what it looks like if I group those together, it takes that hole. All right, so now I've got a hole in my keychain. Let's see, we need to do some shapes. We gotta do some text. Let's try text. So actually I'm gonna click work plane on the top. I'm gonna slap some text on that work plane. What I want it to say, I want it to say hi. And I'm gonna choose that font, okay? And let's see, that's way too big. So I'm gonna shrink it down. I'm gonna put it way over here. And then I'm going to drop it down in, and set it to as a whole. And I'm gonna make it a little taller. Okay. And here, I'm gonna group everything together so I can see what it look like. All right. So now I'm gonna engrave, right? I'm gonna cut out the words hi. Those are pretty thin, but that's okay. Yeah, that's all right. All right, then let's see some shapes. Oh, look at that. I can put a star. Okay, so I'm gonna slap a star in there. Put it right, let's just make it right in the middle. Yeah. I'm gonna make it pretty tall. I'm gonna turn it into a hole, drop it down, and select everything, group it. Okay. There's that. All right, now this is a really boring shape. So I'm gonna start to carve away certain pieces. And to do that, Let's see. Let me take the cylinder. I'll grab a hollow, like a empty cylinder. I'm gonna put it on the side here, just for kicks. Make it really big. Actually, I'm gonna go like this, and so I'm gonna put it on the corner, and I'm gonna turn my snap grid off so I get a more precise set of motion. Okay. Bump that down, and now, oh, I didn't want to do that. Right? How can I make this edge curved? All right, so what I could do just for fun, okay, is I could tie these together, and that kind of eats away a section, right? I don't like how jagged it is, so I'm gonna undo that. I'm gonna look at the settings. I'm gonna make this a lot smoother, right? By increasing the sides and the segments. Now when I group these together, right, you can see I get a much smoother indent there. Right? All right, now let's see. I really want to have a curved, instead of a bent or a sharp corner, I want to curve that. And so to do that, I'm going to grab a torus and let's see. I'm going to make that really smooth by increasing the sides. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a block to cut it down. So I'm going to go like that. And then knock that out. And then we take another one and cut it in half right there. Okay. Now I'm going to copy and paste that so I can save that for later. Now this guy, okay, I'm going to take it and turn it. I'm going to put it right there. All right. And now I got to move it down. It's floating. Put it down. Okay, let's see what happens when I put these together. Oh no, don't want to do that. I got to make this one a hole. And then I'm going to group them. Okay, now I have a beveled edge. Now, I missed a little piece right there, so actually back. Now let's try grouping it. All right, so that clipped off the edge. It's not great. I don't really like how jagged it is, but I could play with that size of that curve to make it more gentle. All right, so now what can I do with this thing? I could do that to the other corners. I can do that. Actually, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go to basic shapes. I'm going to look and see what else there is. Text and numbers. Okay, so I have individual letters here. Let's see. Circuits. No, we don't want that. Connectors, characters. What's that? Oh, interesting. Now, here's a question. Are these going to be helpful at all? And not really, right? Because we can only cut. And these are really optimized for 3D printing. So now I just need to get really creative in what do I want to do with the rest of this thing. I'm going to go back to shapes, and I'm going to use cylinders to change the outside structure. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to put a bunch of them right next to each other. Paste. Not that one. Paste. Okay, and then I'm going to select them all. I'm going to line them up. I want them all to be that line. Okay. And then see, these two are touching each other a little bit. I don't want them to be that close. All right, like that. So I'm gonna grab all of them, actually going to group them together, and I'm going to bop them down. Okay. See, now they're cutting in, and I'm going to copy and paste and throw another set over there. Now what I can do is I group main body and this together, and now I kind of made a cool feature on the outside, right? Now here's the thing, right? I can get crazy precise with this. Right, so with the laser, there's no limit to the level of intricate detail that you could make. So really, your imagination is going to be the only limitation here. You can have a lot of fun with different shapes, cutting and etching, and you can always go to the scribble, okay, and make your own shape. So it just opened up a different window, and what I can do here is I can actually create my own shape, right? So let's say I want to cut a smiley face, right? So I'm going to draw a smiley face, right? Okay. And here, that's what I did. That's like the piece I just made, right? Kind of janky looking, but it works. Now, when I cut that out on the laser, right, the center is going to just fall out. So I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to fill in the center. So I'm going to use this this draw shape tool. And what you do is, it's kind of like a fill tool. Right? You see how it's changing? So it's filling in wherever I draw. Oh, I missed a little piece there. Let's do it again. Okay. Okay, there's my smiley face. Say done. Oh God, what is that? We'll call it a smiley face, all right? I'm gonna get rid of this work plane, go back to the regular one. Undo, I don't wanna move it that way. I just wanna drag it over, put it in, make it a whole, select everything. Great, now I have a weird banana chilling on my keychain. All right, so guys, that's the kind of the general process, right? You kind of just keep being creative and making what you want it to be. And just remember that anything that's not physically attached is gonna fall away. You need to use different shapes, symbols, text, different edges, right? Change it up, make it complex. And these are the maximum sizes. So that's the maximum size. You can make it smaller and add stuff out as long as it's connected. Right? When you're all done, you're going to export everything in the design as long as it's only the stuff that you want, not extra pieces. Click SVG, download that. Make sure you name it with like your name. So Hunter Module 1.1, and hit save. And that's the file right there that you'll turn in so that it can be sent to the laser and actually made. Rock on.